You just don't know when to give up, do you?
I can do this all day.
Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, is one of the most beloved Marvel characters, which is partially influenced by the phenomenal performance of Chris Evans in the MCU. He has come a long way from being just a star-spangled man. Now with his story coming to a close in Avengers Endgame, spoilers, I suppose, I thought it would be great to count down the top 10 Captain America shield throws in the MCU. Kicking us off at number 10, we have a scene from 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger. Although it is not a huge feat in comparison to later films, this scene perfectly shows the tactical mind of Steve Rogers and establishes the intense strength of his vibranium shield, holding the doors open with no issues. Moving on to number 9, we have a scene from Captain America: Civil War in which Cap leads the new team of Avengers to retrieve a mass weapon. In this scene, we see Steve perfectly execute a throw which takes down his enemy before retracting back to him through a tank. Again, this shows how Steve takes advantage of his new retractable technology and uses the structures around him to block himself from attacks. Jumping to number 8, we have another scene from Captain America: The First Avenger. Captain America and his Howling Commandos attack the Red Skull's base, where Cap has to take down an army of enemies. Again, we see Cap's tactical thinking and knowledge of structures around him to carry out an exceptional throw, bouncing his shield off a tank to stop an oncoming enemy. Up next, at number 7, we have the mission on the Lemurian Star from Captain America: The Winter Soldier. In the scene, Cap shows his versatility with the shield, using one throw to take down multiple enemies. Despite being a great scene, I couldn't place it higher on the list as Cap tends to use his physical fighting abilities and prowess to take down most of his enemies for the remainder of the scene. Moving on to number 6, we have the very short but effective scene from the Avengers. Cap's throw in this scene isn't too impressive, but the character's development it gives Cap is well worth it, setting him up to be the leader of the group at the end of the film. The scene also shows Cap's ability to think beyond himself and avoid fighting arrogantly as Iron Man and Thor do in the scene. Coming in at number 5, we have the slow-motion Cap throw from the First Avenger. As we see chaos and destruction unfolding behind Captain America, he heroically throws his shield towards the camera. The slow-motion effect greatly emphasizes the weight of the scene as the first real time we see Cap glorified in action, pushing forward no matter the odds he faces. Now at number 4, we have the scene from Avengers: Age of Ultron in which Cap takes down the Hydra agent Von Strucker. The reason this places so high on the list is solely due to the speed and accuracy used to take down the villain. The shield acts as an extension of Cap's body, allowing him to carry out the maneuver before Von Strucker can even finish his sentence. The diegetic sound effect of the shield's reverberation in the scene also makes the impact of the hit seem much harder. Moving on to number 3, we have the Cap and Bucky scene versus Iron Man from Civil War. The scene is only brief, but for a short time, we see the way both Cap and Bucky are able to use the shield as a team to beat Iron Man. The scene perfectly evokes the relationship between the two characters, showing how great they work in a team and how they always bounce back to one another. The scene also hints at the possibility of the Winter Soldier taking over the Captain America mantle in the future, as he did for a brief period of time in the comics. However, after the events of Avengers Endgame, it looks like this might be some of the only action Bucky will be getting with the shield. Up next at number 2, we have a scene from Avengers Endgame. So, I admit, Cap's use of the shield isn't the greatest we have seen here, but the overwhelming excitement of Cap being able to lift Mjolnir and use it alongside his shield is what makes this scene so great. Here, Cap takes advantage of all the weapons at his disposal and previous knowledge of how him and Thor have been able to strike down enemies together. The way he throws and bats the shield with Mjolnir to take down Thanos is a mind-blowing moment that every MCU film fan seemed to adore. Now, before I move on to number 1, here are some honourable mentions. But, coming in at the number 1 spot, we have the Cap vs the Quinjet scene from The Winter Soldier. Upon just being pronounced a fugitive for S.H.I.E.L.D., Cap shows no signs of backing down as he makes his escape from the Shield's headquarters and is faced with the deadly Quinjet. But it is Cap's use of his shield which makes this scene so great. Firstly, the way he uses it as an offensive weapon, taking out the right propeller of the Quinjet before progressing to the back of the jet. In addition to his offensive capabilities with the shield, Cap demonstrates the defensive qualities of the shield, using it to stop him from falling off the Quinjet and later to take the impact of his landing. The scene also greatly displayed how Cap was pulling no punches and was under no circumstances influenced by S.H.I.E.L.D. or the powerful figures such as Alexander Pierce. Now, there are so many great Captain America throws throughout the MCU, and I'm sure I've left out some of your favourites. If this is the case, or even if not, please let me know down below in the comments which of the scenes you would have liked to see included in this list, or which ones were your favourite from the list. Also, let me know what top 10 list you would like to see me cover in the future. With all that being said, that's going to do it for this top 10 list, and I hope to catch you all in the next one.